That's right. If it impacts on your health and wellness, we'll definitely talk about it. I've been laughing my head off because I noticed my flyer says the role and importance of breast support groups. Some of you are giggling already, eh? But my friends in the UK will say, you know what I mean? Breast cancer support groups. Take some praise from Edem Knight-Tay and come back. For Ultimate Health with Naughty by Nature. Yeah, October is the Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Yeah, we've let all the other platforms go into the symptoms, signs, early detection and all that. We're rolling into it now. And you know, we've been doing the Mental Health Awareness Month as well. So today we'll be taking a look at the psychosocial impact. And more importantly, the importance and the role of support groups. Can you do this alone? My guest is Gloria Youngson. She's with Cancer Connect Ghana. She's an oncology nurse or cancer care nurse, as some would say. So we'll look at this journey and who do you need? Essentially, what is a support group? Who should be part of that support group? Some of them are, peer-led. Yes, persons who've survived or are at various stages of, treatment, recovery, even survivorship, right? At each and every stage of this, you need support. Is the support only for the person afflicted or affected by breast cancer? Or what about the family, the family members? That's what we're talking about today with Gloria Youngson. Gloria, it's been ages since we had you here.
It has been.
Yeah, great to see you.
Thank you for having me again.
Looking lovely as usual.
Thank you.
In pink, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Or a variant of pink. Yeah. You know, in Africa, when we start doing colors, trouble comes. Hey, Coco.
You're right. You're right.
But great to have you.
Thank you.
And I know Cancer Connect Ghana has been doing great work when it comes to cancer in general. But this month, you've up the ante when it comes to breast cancer education, information, and support. So you're welcome into the studio. Now, many people know that the diagnosis itself is a major blow. Whichever way you mold it, shape it, turn it, it's a big blow. And therefore, there's a whole full, should I say, gamut of support that is required. But very often we assume it is given. The fact that somebody has been diagnosed with breast cancer, we assume that family, the spouse, children, everybody will support. But we want to go beyond speculation or assumption. So today we want to examine the role and importance of support groups. And we believe you can help us, do due diligence with that. So what essentially is a support group, Gloria?
Right. Thank you. So, again, good afternoon to your listeners. Thanks for having me. So a cancer support group, or just simply a support group, is basically, as we will term it at Cancer Connect, is just holding the hand of a patient to go through the journey they are in, or through the illness.
Okay.
Go through it easier. That's how we say it.
Okay.
So basically, a support group is offering or providing patients some sort of help and assistance, be it psychosocial support, be it education, be it understanding the journey or linking to other survivors or those who have gone through the disease, be it financial assistance. It's just basically helping them go through the journey easier.
Okay, so that's the full 360, because I may just have heard, right? Or I may suspect, or I have been actually given a formal conclusive diagnosis and I'm in denial, right? At all of these points, moments, stages, I need support.
Yes, you do.
And it's important that the support is, should I say, structured, deliberate, conscious. It's not accidental support.
No, it shouldn't be. However, accidental support is also helpful. So when I say accidental support, it could be that you have met somebody whose relative has gone through that, and they happen to meet them and they share their experiences. And for us within our organization or within cancer support, we need all this to come together. So you would need those who have experience, you would need professionals who understand and have been trained to take patients through the cancer journey. You would need the patient themselves as well, also sharing their journey experiences with others as well.
All right. So we'll do our best within this short 1 hour that we have to move along the stages of this journey, right? If you're listening to us, this is Ultimate Health on Joy 99.7 FM.
Joy 99.7
We're
FM.
taking a close look at the role and importance of breast cancer support groups. Indeed, support groups exist for almost anything and everything, right? But this is a critical area we need to look at. Who is in the support group? What particularly or specifically is the support group organized or designed to address, right? How does it work? Is it of therapeutic benefit? Does it help you? There's a lot of research and evidence that shows that persons who have good support, meaningful support, do better and cope better than those who lack such support. And that's what we want to understand today. If you're listening to us and you want to share your experience, maybe you're helping somebody cope, manage, live with their cancer, right? Our focus is breast cancer, but cancer generally, right? It's also something you can share. You can share with us. WhatsApp is 055 11 11 997. We're live on Facebook and YouTube, right? Both are functional as I speak, and shortly I will activate the phone line so you can speak to Gloria as well. And if you're a person at any stage of the journey, feel free to call and share with us maybe your successes, your challenges, what typically has worked for you. So Gloria, coming back, of course, we're dealing with a specific disease phenomena, all right? So it requires a conclusive diagnosis. Okay. Now, without going into the details of the medical process of diagnosis, typically, how do people get to hear that they have breast cancer? And how could this also be a stage at which they require meaningful support?
Right. So typically within our setting, people would come into the hospitals or clinics and be told that this thing that is troubling your breast, or for whatever reason you've reported
Joy,
this, we've done further investigations into it, and it is breast cancer.
Right.
We don't have that culture of screening and then doing our breast self-examination.
We're not doing too well in that regard.
Sorry,
we're not doing too well
we're not doing too well, but we're getting there gradually.
Right.
So most patients would end up possibly needing support or being told of the diagnosis, once they actually have or they can feel something, they may have gone through the investigations, and then they are told that this is cancer. Usually it's the doctors that will tell the patient. More often than not, these patients, when they are told this diagnosis, are on their own, because they are not expecting anything of that sort. They wouldn't think that all this I'm going through might be cancer, or even at the stage that they were doing their investigations and something was mentioned, they're like, no, it's not me, no way. You know, so they are on their own. And when you hear that word cancer, it hits you, because again, there's quite a lot of myths and misconceptions surrounding cancer. Cancer in itself, I would say, it's a big deal. Because there are different modalities of treatment. There are different kinds of treatment. There's possibly months of treatment. It's not just like malaria where you take a course of medication over 3-4 days and you're fine. So it's quite a lot to take in. There's quite a lot of healthcare professionals that you're going to go through. You need to understand whatever it is the doctor is telling you, the treatment options and all that. So yes, and support should be started as soon as there's a suspicion of cancer.
As soon as there's a suspicion, you will require support. Many go alone. Many are hiding even the fact that they are under investigation for a possible cancer, right? So typically you may be, or you're likely to be in front of this doctor alone. Now, I know by virtue of what I do, professionally, we train doctors, we train healthcare workers in breaking bad news, all right? So they will typically do their best, but the outcome can be complex, right? Would you recommend that for anybody who's at this stage where they're under investigation to go with somebody they feel comfortable with, or it doesn't matter, you really need to get the information, digest it, and then seek support?
I'd say usually once you start these investigations, or maybe the first investigation, it could be an ultrasound or something, and there's a suspicion. That information maybe the doctor won't say you have it, but the doctor might say that we suspect. It could be strongly, or it could not be that strong. We suspect that this might be something we need to deal with immediately, or it might be a cancer. So further do this and this. Usually after you've passed the stage of screening, if there's a suspicion, you would sort of be told or informed, one way or the other. Even if it's not the doctor, it could be the personnel that is doing the ultrasound or so, if they are qualified to do that. And usually I would also ask that if that decision or information is going to be broken to the patient, maybe if the healthcare professionals could also pre-warn the patients, maybe just say that, could you come with somebody else? Or
these are possible outcomes.
So they won't say it's because you're going to tell you about bad news, but is it possible that you can come with your husband? Is it possible you can come with a friend, a family member, or something of that sort?
So you may encounter this and find yourself alone at that point. You may not have a clue. In fact, you may think that, and I guess you have justification, that what do I need a support group for at this stage? I'm now investigating, So typically most people will not have the benefit.
Nobody would want to consider or be thinking that I'm going to be told I have cancer at the end of the day. Especially in this part of the world where religion is really a strong part of us. Nobody wants to confess that this is what the outcome is.
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility. Usually, as a matter of fact, if people start thinking and considering that, they will end up not even coming back. Because they want to just deny the fact that it may be or may not be.
All right, Gloria, let me be a bit naughty and twist the question this way. We promote, we want people to screen on a regular basis. That is a good thing. We want to be able to identify and conclusively diagnose cancer of any sort, and indeed breast cancer, at its earliest stage, which gives us an advantage. In this promotion of screening, mammograms, and all this, do we bring in this added information of the need of support and support groups, or do we wait till it's till the horse has bolted?
Yeah, you're right.
Is this something we should be packaging alongside this encouragement to screen, check your breast? I mean, there's been a lot of noise. You and I have been complaining, sack breast in October and all that. stuff that we know is not really addressing the thing. But should we be adding this point that, get yourself connected so that you'll be getting education, support, awareness alongside?
Most definitely, because I've been quite worried about the way, though excited though, about the way the awareness programs are going on, especially in October, where everybody is doing some sort of screening, everybody is doing some sort of education and awareness.
Okay.
Are we following up with these patients?
Right.
I mean, these persons.
Okay.
What happened when they had their screening done? Who is looking after them? And that's where support actually starts from. Because then if you have picked up patients persons who has a suspicion or there's a lump or there's something wrong with their breast,
Right.
how are you then supporting the patient through with information, with education, what it means by we're going to do further investigations, even the cost of these investigations,
Right.
where to go, to seek the right treatment. So support should start right
From the
on
get-go.
with the awareness, most definitely.
Okay.
Most definitely.
We're live on WhatsApp, 055 11 11 997. We're looking at the role and importance of breast cancer support groups. And I'm in the studio with Gloria Youngson. She's an oncology nurse and a founder and director with Cancer Connect Ghana. They deal with the whole spectrum of cancers, but today we're talking specifically with regard to breast cancer. In October, if you have any experiences, concerns, should I say testimonies, you can share with them, share them with us on WhatsApp 055 11 11 997, and shortly I will activate the phone lines as well. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. Okay, so we look at getting people on board early. Now typically when you join a support group, you may be at any stage of this journey. I see on your webpage and your site that you talk about education, navigation, and many other things. So this is a journey. You need a map. You need a roadmap, right? And even providing you with an overview of what that journey entails is support.
Yes, it is.
Right.
And it's very important to prepare the patient to know, to get to understand what they're going to go through.
Okay.
Yeah. So for us, as I said, it's basically holding your hands throughout that whole journey.
Right.
Helping you to understand, helping you to cope, helping you to be able to go through the treatment easier, helping you to connect to others, resources.
Okay.
That would make things easier for you.
Okay.
Helping your caregivers, your family members, your loved ones to also understand the disease and what you might be going through and how they can also support you, because they are actually biggest fans when it comes to disease and illness, or biggest support system when it comes to disease or illness.
Okay.
So they are also very important to us as an organization. So it's not just the patient.
Okay.
At the end of the day, we leave the patient with them to continue their care. Yeah. So it's super important.
Okay. 26 minutes past the hour of 2 on Joy 99.7 FM. We're discussing the role and importance of breast cancer support groups. I've got this from Judith Asante in Kanda. Note, please, where can I go for free screening? I live at Kanda. Most of the facilities and the hospitals have been running free screening during this month. I think it's still available, right? I know the Kolebu Polyclinic and the Reproductive Health Unit also, they're doing that. I know many other facilities, I think Sinel and many other facilities across the country. Yeah. But what I will say also, Judith, is that do not wait for it to be free, right? You don't want to start the journey if there's no need, right? And if it is that you will start that journey, you want to pick it up very, very early. So take the opportunity in October. I'll check what resources I can put out before we finish today. But go online, just Google free screening, breast cancer screening. You'll see it all over the place. Many facilities are advertising this. So don't miss that opportunity. Thanks for reaching out. Judith, this one says, good afternoon, Norte by Nature. Please, where can I go to get tested? You mean screening at a government facility? I only know of the private ones. Like I said, all the public facilities during the month of October specifically run a lot of free screening. Okay, when it's free, it means somebody is supporting the cost of the procedure, the processes, right? Of course, I'm sure you are aware of breast self-examination as well. You can Google that as well online, and there are videos on YouTube as well where you can actually examine for yourself as a first line whilst you're looking for somewhere to get screened. Anything you want to add to that, Gloria?
Yeah, so people are asking for free screening, but it should actually be part of your norm on a yearly basis, as you're doing just your annuals or your medicals on an annual basis.
Okay.
The doctors, just ask your doctor that you would like to be screened, and then they will just do the clinical breast exams on you, and then advise you on what to do.
Right.
Also, to add, women from the age of 40 should start having their mammograms.
Right.
It's annually, or I'd say once every 2 years.
Okay.
It's fine.
Right.
And if you have a family history, definitely speak to your doctor and even start. They might ask you to start these screenings earlier on.
Okay.
It's very important. There's also free screening happening this Tuesday at the Bukom Park. I think we're hoping to do that for about 500 people. So please, you can pop in. It starts at 9 till the end of the day.
Okay.
And then you can have yourself screened as well.
Great stuff. This thing with free stuff. I remember we've done cervical cancer, some say cervical cancer, prostate, and every time people are asking for free. Right?
Shouldn't wait till it's
Let's
free.
not wait. Let's take this seriously. This is a serious issue. So coming back to the process, we're saying this is a journey. So let's hop, skip, and jump to I have a confirmed diagnosis. All right. I'm blown away. Right. I feel I will lose everything. Indeed, a lot of the research work and empirical evidence suggests that I actually go into a form of grieving. Yeah. I have lost something and I'm scared to death as to what more I will lose. Right. How does one deal with that stage? Typically, we would assume that family, significant others will take up this challenge. How do I do that? When I am myself scared, I'm not as well informed, and therefore I'm difficult to help.
Yeah. So it's interesting though. In our experience, we would say that half of the patients will inform their family members.
Okay.
Another half wouldn't.
Right.
Reasons most of the times that we've heard is for those that won't inform their family members and would like to go on the journey alone is because, one, they do not want their family members to know that they have the disease. It all depends on what is happening in the family at the time of diagnosis. They don't want to burden their family members. And I have known women not informing even their husbands that they have the disease. Yes.
So what you're saying, what I grab from what you're saying, Gloria, is that disclosure is a key milestone.
It is.
Sharing the information is a key hurdle to overcome.
It is. Because also, these patients are also thinking, if I'm going to tell my mother, if I'm going to tell my sister, if I'm going to tell whoever, husband, they're going to say, no, don't seek treatment.
Right.
Let's go spiritual. Let's go and pray. That's what happens.
So there's a lot of complex dynamics at play.
Huge.
Traditional, religious, even cultural, if I can, So disclosure. Gloria, let's hit this nail properly. So is it important for me to share the information?
It is absolutely important.
Right.
It is, because you need people. You need people to support you. You need your family members to be there for you.
Right.
Sometimes when patients walk into the consulting room, after they've even been told that they have cancer and they are being told of what next is going to happen, some will walk out of that room not even remembering.
They won't remember anything.
No.
They go blank.
They do.
Right.
So you need another person there to be able to hear what you didn't hear and to reaffirm or to remind you of what you're supposed to do. So I'd say some patients don't want to disclose that for most patients, these reasons. For some, I mean, it's a whole lot for some of them. And it's a myths and misconceptions surrounding it.
Okay.
I don't want to tell my sister. I don't want my friends to know because they are going to think that I'm a bit less than they are.
Okay.
And the part of the body is affecting as well is also quite critical.
Okay.
And then the word cancer in itself and what surrounds that cancer is also another big thing.
So it, in a way, can I say, Gloria, and I'm hoping you will endorse this, that it can, if you have difficulties and challenges disclosing, it leads to isolation, withdrawal.
Most definitely. Even when you have even disclosed, it can lead to isolation because you may think that they cannot understand you or what you're going through. And therefore, and you may, sometimes patients may think that whatever it says their carers or loved ones are doing is the opposite of what they want.
Right.
So I might as well just be on my own.
Okay.
Because you don't understand.
Even when I didn't have a problem, me and them were not fine.
Kind of thing.
Right.
Yes.
Now I have a problem and I don't see them having the skill set to help me.
As well.
Okay.
Even if it is your loved one who you really love or you're quite close to, again, they may not really understand what exactly you're going through.
Right. Okay.
So they may not be able to provide that support.
Right.
And sometimes too, the emotions can get into play where some family members may want to do over and above,
right,
as we may put it,
okay,
for the patient. But at that point, that's not what the patient needs.
Okay.
You know, so there has to be that external support with professionals to be able to help them understand what they are going through at every stage, what this stage means, what you need to do for this person. And to be honest, there are times where you just let them be, because some people also want to just be on their own, just to think through things.
Okay.
You know, when somebody is sick, are you okay? Do you want water? Sometimes we also behave as if they can't do anything.
All right.
But they can.
Okay.
You know, so we need to be able to support them, but we also need to be able to empower them.
You need informed support.
It is.
Informed support,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Gloria and I do a lot of work in this kind of area, in this spectrum, and there's even what we call assisted disclosure. Sometimes you are partnered, you are helped to disclose because you might not say it the right way, or you might leave out key information, or you might escalate beyond what it actually is, right? So there are processes we call assisted disclosure, where you are helped to disclose to significant others. And again, within a support group.
Children, even how to disclose it to your children, how I'm going to say it, what is going to happen, what am I thinking, how are the kids going to think or feel.
Okay.
Because, you know, kids can, depending on the age group, they can actually keep quite a lot of things to themselves.
Right.
Especially within our culture as well, where sometimes kids are not able to express themselves the way they would want to.
Right.
So some will tell them, and don't tell anybody at school. Why shouldn't I tell anybody at school?
I had a case where
I have a best friend, you know, kind of thing.
A young boy told his classmates that he's worried. His father is not well, and he's heard the mention of the word cancer. And he's gone online
and checked,
but he's afraid to engage his father on this, and his father doesn't bring it up. So disclosure is a big hurdle.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
But how do I connect? Ironically, you're called Cancer Connect Ghana. How does one connect to a support group? We hear they are out there. They have different names, different thrusts or focus. But how does one, let's use Cancer Connect. If I needed help, support, education, information, how does one connect?
So you can contact us through any of our social media platforms online and our contact numbers. We also go to institutions that treat cancers to inform patients about the fact that we exist and if they need help. We also use our events programs. So usually Mother's Day, we go to hospitals to share gifts to mothers to inform them that we're here to support them. And when I say mothers, it's not just because they are suffering from the cancer. It could be their kids or their husbands suffering it. Christmas time, where with the kids affected by cancer, we inform them that we exist. So you just look up
Cancer Connect Ghana, right? The full...
Yes, and then you'll be able to
find all the social media pages of Cancer Connect.
Yes,
and when you connect, then you be given the rudimentary steps to follow.
Yes, please.
To access care and support. Okay, if you just joined us, it's 37 minutes past the hour of 2 on Joy 99.7 FM. We're looking at the role and importance of breast cancer support groups with Gloria Youngson. She's an oncology nurse and founder director of Cancer Connect Ghana. They deal with the whole spectrum of cancers, but today we're focusing on breast cancer. If you have any experiences, concerns, testimonies you want to share, or questions, WhatsApp is 055 11 11 997. We're live on Facebook and YouTube, and shortly I will activate the phone lines. Let me give out the phone numbers now. 0302 216-541, 030-2216-541. Those are the healthy buttons to push. Now, typically, Gloria, when we hear of support groups, we know we'll get information, right? I'm going to be hearing all sorts of hunhudious things from doctors of various disciplines, right? I'm going to be hearing about possible or available treatment options and so many things that I'm likely to go into an overload, right? Without even considering whether I'm depressed or confused or, right? Does a support group typically provide information on these things? And do support groups harness the resource of professionals, experts, qualified persons? Or is it just people who are going through cancer and at various stages who form the core of support groups?
So within our setting, we have usually support groups, I would say, started springing up from people's experiences.
Okay.
And then they also wanting to support others,
right?
To go through the journey easier.
Okay.
So some support group may start from possibly somebody who's been affected by cancer, be it they themselves who have suffered the disease,
okay,
or a family member who may have passed, and then they want to just continue in that person's name in memoriam of that person to be able to create some support and awareness. And there are those that also are professionally led or started. That's how ours is. But then again, those that may not have been professionally started, some will consider as they grow,
to build that capacity to be able to answer questions.
It is, yes. It's
properly.
not that common, but I think it's evolving in Ghana.
Okay. One of the other roles you play, you are an interface sometimes between those affected or afflicted and professional or medical or health care professionals. Because when they sit in front of them, sometimes they don't know what to ask. They are not empowered. So can you explain to us, how does the support group work in this space?
So for us, as I said, we have trained professionals in the field to be able to take patients through this journey. So when a patient comes to us, I'll use newly diagnosed as an example. Comes to us and tells us that, I've been diagnosed of cancer. I'm to see the doctor next week with this final investigation, and they are to tell me what it is that I'm to expect. So we will go through, find out how it all started from the patient. They tell us that story. We it helps us to get to know the patients better. Then we tell the patients that it's likely that if doctor is going to discuss with you about treatment options, these are the kind of questions you should be asking. This is what you should be doing. Note whatever the doctor is saying down. I mean, in public hospitals,
do they typically believe they have the right and the place to ask questions?
So we empower them.
You empower them.
We do, yes, because we tell them that this is very critical. This is about you. It is about your life. It's not the doctor knows it all. This is you and the doctor being a team, or the other multidisciplinary team, because it's not just the doctors that treat cancer. So you have the nurses, the pharmacists, and the radiologists. You have all of them coming into play to be able to treat this cancer successfully. So you're going to meet a whole lot of people in different disciplines that you may not even know, and that's why support is critical here. And I always say that support has to be external, out of the hospital setting, because it gets to a point the patients have had enough of the hospital. So if they're able to find an independent person or support outside of the clinical setting, it's very helpful. We would relate to the patients in a way that they are then able to be empowered to ask questions from the doctor. What does this mean? If you don't understand, just note it down, because there may be a lot of things that they will be talking about. Once you're done, you would have an opportunity to ask the doctor questions. What does this treatment mean? How long am I going to take this treatment for?
What is it supposed to do?
Exactly.
Will I see and feel anything different? How will I know it's working?
And even the most important thing, how much is it going to cost?
How much is it going to cost?
Not just the here and now. How much is however long you said I'm going to take the treatment for? Because some patients will come out of the consult and all they heard was, doctor says I'm supposed to have chemotherapy, I'm having it tomorrow. And they may think it's only just one off. Or doctor says I should have an injection, they would say. They don't even know about chemotherapy. Doctor says me injection. It's actually a drip. It's not just an injection, as people may term it as.
So you need help to break this down, digest it, and plan, and even budget, right?
Yes,
and
most definitely.
Look at or assess your capacity to meet the demands of the journey.
Yes.
Right.
And even if national health insurance covers it, where are you going to get the medication from?
Okay.
Is national health insurance going to cover everything? Because you may not get the medication.
Right.
Everything is not in the clinic that you'll be having your treatment. So
Alright.
you'd come in the morning, you're prescribed the drug, you need to go out of Kolebu
Okay.
to go and look for your medication
Okay.
and all that. We prepare them for
This
all
is
that.
important.
Yes.
Okay. Phone line 030-221-6541. 030-221-6541. Ask your questions. Let's see. We're looking at the role and importance of the breast cancer support groups and indeed cancer support groups in general, or support groups. Most of the key salient pillars we're discussing, you find them in some form or some degree in most support groups, right? Gloria, you just said something about, we'll ask you how it happened, how you got your diagnosis and all that. That sounds like a one-on-one process.
It is.
At what point do we get into a group? Is there a group at all, or is it just a name, right? Is it one-on-one individual support therapy, or how are we doing this? And do I have to come and sit in front of lovely Gloria or anybody else? When does it become a group? And
so some people
why a
think
group?
Support groups are only a group of people who are experiencing the same thing. No,
Right.
that's not what it is. So it becomes that when patients are ready
Okay.
to be able to connect with another person
Okay.
who has been diagnosed of the disease.
Say
And
that again.
Patients
When they are
ready.
ready.
Yes.
So you can connect to a support group, but it doesn't mean automatically by law
No.
you must be forced into a group process.
No, not at all.
You'll be assessed to see your readiness.
Yeah, so if the patient wants to speak to another person, so
Okay.
for us, it's not a group where you come in and you meet 2, 3, 4, 5 women sat there
Okay.
sharing their own experience.
Right.
No, that's not what support groups actually mean. So when we say support groups or support organizations, this is you getting the support that you need to be able to go through your
Okay.
journey. And at some point within that journey,
Right.
you may want to connect with somebody
And
else
there
who
are
have
group
been diagnosed.
processes designed to do just
Yes.
that. Where
Yes.
people are sharing their experiences. Oh, I've had that medication before. It's actually not bad. Or this one is this, that. And then it is anchored by professional
It is,
input
because
as
sometimes
well.
you need to be careful. You
Right.
would have patients, somebody who's gone through it, actually giving information that would end up scaring
Right.
the patient who's about to
as for
go
this one,
through
my
it.
also for my spiritual leader says foul, menfa.
Oh, they won't even say that. Do you know what happened to me the following day? Oh my goodness. Hey, this
wow.
medication, you should dread it. No.
So it's an anchored, informed, and
is.
resourced process.
It is,
You don't just get up and say, these people are meeting in Alajo or somewhere, and then I'm
So
going.
I'm going to join them.
Right. Okay, great stuff. My phone line is still active, 0302-216-541. Ultimate Health on Joy 99.7 FM with me, Norte by nature. I'm enjoying the company of founder and director of Cancer Connect Ghana, Gloria Youngson. She's an oncology nurse, or nurse oncologist as they say, and she works alongside various other professionals and peer, should I say, support leaders, and they are Cancer Connect Ghana. This one is also about free screening. This one says, please, free screening is ongoing at the Kaneshi Medical Center. This is from Robert Jerry Kwame Agbevem. And he is thanking me, Norte by nature. Thank you, Robert Jerry Kwame Agbevem, for the information, okay? It's ongoing at the Kaneshi Medical Center. All right. I never heard that, Kaneshi Medical Center. But, Robert, if you have any additional information, share, whether you mean the polyclinic or anywhere else or a private facility within Kaneshi. Right. Okay. Hi, Norte. I just tuned in. I beg, can your doctors help me with my problems? I was diagnosed with hiatal hernia, since February this year, but on triple therapy, but still not having any relief. This is Sami from Ekropong. All right, we're not dealing with that directly at the moment. I'll take your number. With the help of my producer, we'll see how we can assist you. Thanks for sharing, and thanks for tuning in to Ultimate Health, Sami. From Ekropong Ekwapim. Right. If you want to WhatsApp 055 11 11 997. We're live on Facebook and YouTube. The phone number is 0302 216 541. We're talking of breast cancer support groups and their key, should I say, active ingredients, what they do, their role and their importance. My guest has suggested and emphasized that it's not something you do on your own. You need care and support for this whole journey. Even when you're screening, you should be thinking of getting good and proper, meaningful information, up-to-date information.
Yeah.
And so the support group provides all of these. Now, some people say, well, within the confines of a support group, you are able to speak freely amongst people, share with people who are experiencing these things or who are knowledgeable about these things. And you may not have that opportunity within the family setting. What do you say to that?
Yes, very true. Most patients will feel quite comfortable because somebody has gone through it.
Okay.
It's not just because I can see that you've gone through it, but it's also because of what you're saying and what you're sharing.
Okay.
And what I can identify with what you're saying.
Okay.
And therefore patients then feel a bit more at home.
Okay.
With somebody else who have gone through it.
Right.
They are able to then learn from each other.
Right.
They're able to learn different coping mechanisms that one person may have used, and it works for them.
So my mood swings are not because I'm troublesome.
Not at all.
Somebody else is sharing their experience and how their moods swing and change.
And sometimes they actually feel that, I'm actually a bit better than the other person.
So I'm actually
it's
guiding,
not that bad.
I'm actually guiding somebody.
Yes.
And in that I find strength. I find
definitely.
hope.
Yes.
Okie dokie. Yes. This one says, Robert again. I said Kwame. Kaneshi Medical Center is a health facility within the Kaneshi Market Complex building.
Right. Okay.
Right. It's within the Kaneshi. God, I haven't been in there in ages. Kaneshi Market. All right. So there's a medical center or a medical facility within the Kaneshi Market Complex building, and they are offering free screening for those who want to do free. All right. So again, let me ask. There's a lot of evidence that being connected, and I'm using that word in a biased mode, but being connected and being actively involved and engaged in a support group improves your quality of life, irrespective of the stage you are at in your journey.
It is.
How does it do that? So
let's put it this way. Cancer or going through cancer treatments can actually stop people from living. Okay.
It actually disrupts your life in many ways. Right.
And what we say is that cancer should not stop you from living.
Okay.
And therefore, if you're able to connect to groups that are able to empower you, if you're able to connect to groups that you have, like, you can share things, or you're able to open up to them.
Right.
If you're able to connect to groups that can help you after cancer treatment, find your way back into normal society.
Right. Help you balance.
Normalcy. Yes.
Right.
Balance what is going on, because I say cancer now is a chronic disease.
Right.
So it's something that you'll be managing, though you're not on active treatments, but there may be things that may crop up because of treatments that you have had that you need to manage and all that. And you have to be having annual checks and all that. So it's like continuous. So you need to be able to get back to what you used to be or what you used to do before.
Right.
And therefore, that helps people a lot more than keeping people in isolation. And you know that part of the body as well has to do with your body image as well as a woman.
Right.
Yes. So it is very important that you're able to get that support, that information, that advice, that encouragement to be able to accept your body the way it is. And then find ways of coping and then going back into your normal life as you used to. It may not be as normal as before, because definitely with that diagnosis, there's a lot that you would have gone through. And most patients will tell you that they appreciate life a lot more, and they would rather spend their time on what is important other than what they used to think of life was before.
I'm sure some of my listeners will say, oh, come on, this is sounding like a walk in the park. You guys are making it sound easy. Gloria, what about the points within and along this journey where, look, I've given up, I'm tired, I don't want to take any more medications, I don't want any more procedures that are invasive and intrusive and whatever, right? So they start to default. This is not even about not being able to afford it, but I'm not going. Is there anything that a support group does in this regard?
Yes. So I'm happy you've mentioned this, Naughty. So it's not just the fact that they are defaulting, but there are categories of patients that are or might be in denial or have gone through some traumatic experience whilst having the treatment.
Okay.
And therefore they don't want to go through that again.
Okay.
There might be patients who are actually depressed, but it hasn't been picked up.
Right.
And therefore, one day they just wake up and I'm not having treatment anymore.
Okay.
You need to find out why.
Right.
And there might be patients who may have been or getting to their end stage of the disease.
Right.
And they are told that this is just managing your symptoms.
Okay.
And they're like, no, I don't want this. That's absolutely fine as well.
Right.
You know, we will still go through that journey with them.
Okay.
Whether they refuse treatment or they decline treatment or not.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it is the patient's decision
Okay.
to continue treatment or not. But we don't want a situation whereby
Right.
you don't want to continue treatment because of something you're going through
Okay.
that we can help you solve
Okay.
so that you can continue treatment. So
Okay.
there are different degrees of that.
Right.
And through all that, we're there for you.
So this is a situation, this is a framework where you are free to actually bring it up.
Oh, yes,
Right?
most definitely.
Right.
Because you need to be able to tell us what you're going through, how you're feeling.
Okay.
You're not going to be judged whatsoever. You know, in a clinical setting.
My husband, I don't think I'm attractive to my husband any longer.
Oh, of course, yes.
We're not as intimate as we used to be. I can bring that up in a support group.
You can.
Oh, wow.
You can, most
Okay.
definitely, yeah.
Right. And others will chip in, and then we'll share on ways to
So sometimes
address
it's on a
this.
one-on-one
Right.
with the professionals.
Okay.
What is it that I have done? My husband, I think my husband doesn't find me attractive anymore.
Okay.
It might be because this woman has had the breast removed or something of that sort.
Okay.
It might actually not be that sometimes. It might be that the husband thinks that he may be causing untoward pressure on the
Okay.
woman.
Right.
Sometimes too, it could also be culture or myths and misconceptions surrounding the cancer that the man may have and doesn't have enough information
Okay.
on what is happening to the wife.
Right.
Yeah. So we will deal with that, listen to the person, and then see how best we can connect with the other spouse as well, and then
Great stuff. Great
clear
stuff.
that misconception.
Gloria, what if I'm listening now? I've heard everything you and Note have shared, but I don't have breast cancer, but I'm supporting and caring for somebody, right? Typically, our health delivery system is overwhelmed. So a lot of the care and support in this regard will fall on family. Do you provide, as a support group, do you provide capacity building, education, information for family members or persons who don't have breast cancer?
Yes. So for family members or someone who is looking after a loved one who has cancer, and breast cancer for that matter, we would support you throughout as well. So
Right.
for us, it's not just the patient that's important to
Okay.
us. As I said, we need to support the caregivers as well to be able to provide the support that the patients need when they're at home with them.
Right.
Because we would definitely leave them at home with their loved ones or their caregivers.
Right.
We need to support them not just with knowledge, but we need to support them emotionally as well,
Right.
psychologically as well. What is it that they are going through?
So there's actual capacity and skill building there.
Yes, very important.
You need to learn what to do, how to do
At
it.
each part of the journey or each point of the journey, what is this patient going through and how is it that I can support my loved one go through this step,
Okay.
the next step, and the next.
So if
after
you're
that.
supporting somebody and you are doing it as some will say raw kappa, MBA, Mibahache, right? That I learned on the job.
Yeah.
Right. What would you say to people who are caring and doing the best they think they can without any additional support, resource, information, training, or capacity building in this regard?
First and foremost, I applaud them. They are
Okay.
doing a great job.
Right.
They are doing more than what sometimes is even expected of them. And I'm very proud of them. Because it's not every family that you would be able to get that. I mean, it's not every patient that gets that support from family members. So for those who are doing it, they are doing excellently and they should continue.
Right.
But they should also reach out to us as well.
Okay.
If they need that support, understanding, education, we're there for them emotionally. They can then come to us and then use us as a pillow, lie down, and then get refreshed, and then be able to go back again,
Right.
and then support their loved ones. Yes, so
Okay.
yes, we are available for them, so they can always reach out to us as well.
Right. Some people believe that giving hope and nurturing hope and positivity should include some dose of, should I use the word deceit? Falsifying facts, preventing people from knowing the full details. What would you say to that? Because many think that you are helping the person cope. Do support groups, work on this genuine openness where you share the full details and then you build the capacity to cope?
Yes.
Or would you say, well, it's not that bad when you're seeing something else in results or whatever?
No. So for us as a support group, it is important for the patients to accept the disease and what they are going through.
So you have to accept it.
Yes.
This is part of me now.
It's very important.
Right.
And then to be able to move on from that acceptance to know that there are ways of going through this disease and then overcoming it. So when I say overcoming it, having treatments so that that cancer that's actively in your body is not active anymore.
Right.
So no, we won't give you false hope, not at all. We want you to know and understand that you have the disease. We want you to also inform you that there are treatments available for you to be able to overcome this.
Right.
There are the support along the way for you to be able to go through this easier.
Okay.
And therefore we are not really happy when patients family members tell, oh, please don't tell my mother that she has cancer, because we don't want her to know. Now, how is that person going to be able to... You're
locking the door to support and care.
Exactly.
You need that disclosure as a key.
You need the patient to be able to understand what is going on, to be able to move from the next step.
Right.
My pastor says, if you don't know what the problem is, how do you pray about it effectively?
Okay.
You need to know that there is a cancer for you to pray about the cancer. But I don't want to know I am in denial. No, it's not me. No, that's not what's...
That is a block.
It is.
It will block the journey.
It does.
Okay, so very quickly in about 30 seconds, Gloria, you just mentioned your pastor. Do the religious bodies, pastors and other, churches, do they interface properly? They run their own kind of support, right? But sometimes there's friction and there's conflict. My Osofo said, don't go for this surgery. This surgery, if you go, you'll die. And it's almost like a prophecy, right? How do support groups interface with religious faith and belief? If we can do that briefly.
We hear a lot of that. What we're also trying to do is to be able to get into those communities to create awareness and for people to understand that cancer is not a death sentence. Cancer is not because someone spiritual has attacked you in the spiritual realm. It's a physical disease and it needs to be attacked physically.
Right.
You don't get malaria and then you run to your Osofo to pray for you. You get malaria and then you go to the hospital and get treatment.
Right.
And I know it's...
So you must put it in the right place.
Yes.
And deal with it appropriately.
And we're here also employing the pastors and the Osofos and all that. Cancer needs to be treated, and if it is able to be treated early enough, most patients will survive. Right. Most patients. That's what is happening in the developed world.
Right. Yes. Okay. Great stuff. You've been listening to Gloria Youngson. She's the founder, director of Cancer Connect Ghana. You can find them online on various social media portals. She's also an oncologist or nurse oncologist, right? I hope you've learned something. If there's somebody near you and they need help, tell them to draw closer to a cancer support group. In this program, we've been focusing on breast cancer. Many thanks, Gloria, and many thanks, my producer, Abeku Sankofi. Next, I go over or hand over the baton for the Joy Mini Pop Quiz, where we have a lot of young kids coming in, trying their hands at some questions. Let me just call them questions. And I hear the winner would go for an educational experience in Singapore. They're coming up next. We always give them a lot of encouragement and support. So stick and stay on Joy 99.7